The darkness was absolute, a vacuum that sucked the very air from your lungs. Captain Rostova's mind reeled as she materialized in the depths of space, her consciousness torn from her body like a page ripped from a book. What? What just happened? She stammered, her voice echoing off the cold, dark walls of the void. Ben, her chief engineer, stood before her, his eyes wide with fear. Captain, we're experiencing a catastrophic systems failure. Rostova's gaze snapped to the view screen, where stars and planets blurred into a chaotic mess. What about our ship? She demanded. We're adrift. Ben replied, his voice laced with panic. Our navigation system is offline. And the ship lurched violently, throwing Rostova off balance. She stumbled forward, her hand grasping for the nearest console to steady herself. Ben's eyes locked onto hers. Captain, I think it's worse than that. Whatever just happened, it's affecting me too. Rostova's instincts screamed warning, but she couldn't quite put her finger on what was wrong. Ben's face seemed different. His eyes had lost their sharp edge, and his skin appeared almost soft. Ben took a step closer, his movements awkward and slow. I think we need to talk, Captain. Rostova's gut told her to keep her distance, but she hesitated. Something about Ben's tone was off, kilter, like he was trying to communicate without actually saying anything. What is it, Ben? She asked, her voice firm but cautious. Ben's gaze drifted away from hers, his eyes scanning the darkness, as if searching for something. What we need to merge. Rostova's instincts screamed louder now. What do you mean? Ben's face twisted in a strange, almost forgotten expression. Our minds, Captain. We need to merge our minds. The ship lurched again, throwing Rostova off balance once more. This time, she didn't hesitate. She sprinted toward Ben, her heart pounding in her chest. Ben, what have you done? She demanded, grabbing his arm and spinning him around. Ben's eyes locked onto hers, a flicker of madness dancing in their depths. We'll be stronger together, Captain, he whispered, his voice like a cold breeze on a winter night. And then, the darkness closed in, suffocating Rostova beneath its crushing weight. The world went dark again, but this time it was different. Rostova's mind felt altered. She was no longer separate from Ben. Their consciousnesses had merged into something new. The void outside receded, replaced by a strange, tingling sensation that spread through her entire being. Ben, she whispered, her voice muffled by some unseen force. What have we done? The response came in tandem, their thoughts echoing within her mind like the reverberations of a struck bell. We've merged, Ben's voice said, his words entwined with hers. Our minds are one now. Rostova's thoughts reeled as she struggled to comprehend the enormity of what had happened. The ship's systems flickered back online, and the view screen cleared, revealing a distorted image of nearby stars. "What about our ship?" Rostova asked, her voice still distant, muffled by the strange psychic bond they shared. "The navigation system is online," Ben replied, his words an integral part of their merged consciousness. "We're drifting, but we can correct course." Rostova's gaze drifted toward the view screen, and she saw the stars slowly come into focus. The ship's hull creaked and groaned as it compensated for the damage, but the systems were stabilizing. Ben's thoughts swirled with hers, a maddening dance of ideas and emotions. Rostova felt his fear, his panic, and his desperation, all tangled with her own concerns. "We need to figure out what happened," she said, her voice firming up within their shared mind. "And how to fix it, Bob." Ben's thoughts agreed, but there was something else lurking beneath the surface, a primal instinct that Rostova couldn't quite grasp. It was as if Ben's personality had become entwined with hers, creating a new entity that was neither one nor the other. The merged consciousness worked through their problems, their combined intellect racing through the data and systems of the ship. Slowly, but surely, they began to uncover the truth behind the catastrophic failure. Rostova felt her grip on reality slowly tightening, as if she were relearning how to think and act within this new, merged state. Ben's thoughts remained entwined with hers, a constant presence that both comforted and unsettled her. As they worked through their problems, Rostova realized that their shared mind had given them an incredible advantage. They could combine their knowledge and skills in ways that would have been impossible before the merge. But there was a price to pay for this newfound power. The bond between them was growing stronger by the minute, and Rostova couldn't help but wonder if they would ever be able to separate again. "Ben," she said, her voice tinged with a hint of desperation, "do you think we can unmerge?" The response came in tandem, their thoughts echoing within her mind like the reverberations of a struck bell. "I don't know, Captain," Ben's voice said, his words entwined with hers. "But I'm not sure that's an option anymore." Hayes won. They stumbled forward, their feet heavy as if rooted to the spot. The ship's cows swirled around them, a maelstrom of lights and sounds that threatened to consume everything. Ben's grip on her arm tightened, his fingers like cold steel. Rostova tried to shake him off, but he held fast, his eyes fixed on hers with an unnerving intensity. "We have to get out of here," she shouted above the din, her voice lost in the cacophony. Ben didn't seem to hear her. His gaze remained fixed on hers, a strange, almost forgotten light flickering within its depths. Rostova's mind reeled as she struggled against his grip. What was happening? How could Ben be doing this? Suddenly, everything went white. The ship's lights, blindingly bright. The darkness banished by an intense, pulsating glow. Rostova felt her consciousness stretching, reaching out to merge with something. Ben's face blurred before her, his features merging into hers, like wax melting into a mold. The ship's chaos receded, replaced by a strange, quiet harmony. Their minds merged, a psychic maelstrom born from the swirling madness of their thoughts and emotions. Rostova felt herself becoming one with Ben, their individual identities dissolving like mist in the morning sun. She was no longer just Captain Rostova. She was Ben, too, their collective consciousness forging a new entity, a being unlike either of them individually. A being that knew the ship's secrets, its workings and weaknesses, and its hidden strengths. A being that could control the very fabric of space, time itself. Their merged minds conjured an image, a shimmering gateway materializing before them, pulsating with energy. Ben. Rostova turned to her. Herself, with a strange, almost forgotten smile. The universe is our playground now, she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the ship's systems. And with that, they stepped into the unknown, their combined consciousness forging a new path through the stars. Rostova's eyes widened as she stared into Ben's, her mind reeling from the implications of what he was saying. Merge minds. It sounded like madness, but a part of her couldn't help but wonder if there was truth to it. Ben, we can't merge our minds, she protested, trying to reason with him despite the chaos around them. We're not even sure what's happening or why. Ben's grip on her arm tightened, his eyes burning with an intensity that sent shivers down Rostova's spine. We have no choice, Captain. Our minds are already connected. We just need to open ourselves up and let the connection grow. Rostova felt a surge of fear as Ben's words echoed in her mind. Open themselves up. What did that even mean? Before she could process the implications, Ben's eyes seemed to shift. His pupils dilated, expanding like black holes, sucking in the light around them. Stova felt herself being drawn into those voids, as if she was staring into an abyss. No, Ben, she whispered, trying to pull away from him. This isn't right. Ben's grip on her arm relaxed, and he stepped back, his eyes still fixed on hers. For a moment, Rostova thought she saw a glimmer of sanity in their depths. But it was too late. The ship lurched again, throwing both of them off balance. As they stumbled forward, the view screen flickered to life, displaying a swirling vortex that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Ben's eyes locked onto Rostova's once more, and she felt herself being pulled toward him. The darkness around them seemed to coalesce into a tangible force, drawing them together like moths to a flame. In a flash of insight, Rostova realized that Ben had been right all along. Their minds were already connected, bound by some unseen thread that only now began to unravel. as the vortex on the view screen grew stronger. Rostova felt her consciousness begin to merge with Ben's. It was like being pulled apart and put back together again, her thoughts and memories blending with his in a chaotic dance. The last thing she saw was the stars, blurring into a mad swirl as her mind became one with Ben's. And then there was nothing but the void, a silence so profound it seemed to swallow all sound. When the darkness finally receded, Rostova found herself standing at the edge of a vast, star-filled expanse. She felt different, her mind a maelstrom of thoughts and emotions that no longer belonged solely to her. As she gazed out into the void, a strange sense of peace settled over her. It was as if she had finally found what she'd been searching for all along. A new sense of purpose, born from the ashes of chaos. And then, a whisper echoed in her mind, a gentle reminder that their journey was far from over. The best humans are space orcs. Ben's voice whispered, his thoughts merging seamlessly with hers. We'll ride the stars, Captain. Together.